Welcome. Thanks for joining today's live event. I'm Annie Weinberger, CMO of Agentforce Service, and I'm very excited to be joined by my friends Gautam Vasudev, Senior Vice President, Agentforce Contact Center, and Philip Cooper,
Good morning.
Chief Customer Officer of Agentforce Sales. Welcome, fellas.
Good morning, Annie. Thanks you so much for having us. I'm so excited about this.
Great to be here.
It's going to be great. So we have a ton of great content for you in the next 30 minutes. You're going to hear from real customers that have deployed out-of-the-box agents for customer service, sales, and marketing. And you're going to see how all of our agents work together with some really cool demos from Gautam and Phil. If you have any questions as we're going along, please drop them in the chat. We'll get to them at the end. And also, you're going to want to stick around after the main broadcast. Our experts are going to walk you through how to set up your very own agents in a very hands-on training workshop. All right, let's jump in. Here's a statistic that should stop you in your tracks. Only 11% of enterprise AI agent pilots ever make it into production. Think about that. That's just 1 in every 10. So why is this so hard? What we hear is that often it's because those agents aren't grounded in the right data and context, so they can't actually solve the customer issue. A great AI agent doesn't just chat with you. It takes real action based on a customer's information and history. It can look up their accounts, process requests, and automatically solve their problems. Earlier, I had a chance to chat with one of our customers, Nicole Barton at Wolverine Worldwide. They manage a number of global footwear brands. So providing a consistent customer experience across those brands is really important to them. So we sat down to talk about their experience turning on Agentforce Service to help customers track orders and manage returns. Let's hear from Nicole.
Hi, Nicole. Thanks so much for sitting down with us today. You're maker of some of our favorite, most iconic brands like Merrell Shoes and Sweaty Betty. I'm really excited to dive into specifically how you're using AI to really redefine service and make even deeper connections to your customers. So before we get started, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your company?
Sure. Thanks, Annie. So I lead our global customer engagement team at Wolverine Worldwide. And on the service side, that includes providing support for our wholesale customers as well as our end consumers. And I'm based in Rockford, Michigan, where our company is headquartered. And a little bit more about Wolverine Worldwide. We are a global footwear and apparel company driven by a vision to make every day better. We were founded in 1883, and we grow and build iconic brands such as Merrell, Saucony, Wolverine, Sweaty Betty, and many others. We sell our products in approximately 170 countries and territories worldwide, and I'm proud to say that we were recently certified as a great place to work for the second consecutive year.
So tell me how you see AI agents improving the customer experience.
Absolutely. Well, I'll start by sharing kind of our high-level state of service here. Currently, we support 3 main inbound channels of communication: voice, chat, and email. And we really have only leveraged automation a little bit in our chat channel. We've leveraged a chatbot in some of our brands and regions. And as we look to introduce more AI and automation here at Wolverine into our contact center, we are really looking to achieve four core objectives. That is to improve the customer experience, improve the employee experience, drive efficiency, and drive revenue. And as we look to leverage AI really as an enabling capability to help support those routine, high volume inbound inquiries while empowering our team members to support more complex value add customer interactions. And there are a number of ways that AI helps support the customer experience. I'll give you an example from an efficiency perspective. AI helps with providing transcripts, pre-populating case fields, bringing in order information, providing real-time translation, and those items together help drive efficiency. And when we become more efficient, we're able to improve the customer experience by being more available, more timely in our replies to our consumers, which leads to improved SLAs or service level agreements in the response time category. So lots of opportunity there. Also, from an operations perspective, AI enables us to support consumers outside of our normal hours of operation, as well as scale our support model for peak inbound volumes of contacts, such as at a holiday time period.
Fantastic. So I know that at Wolverine, your human reps are just as important as the AI agents that you're bringing in to help. How do you see these two kind of workforces working together?
Yeah, absolutely. Two things there. First and foremost, we want the experience to be as seamless as possible between our consumers and our team members. And then secondly, we want the support that AI and automation is helping us with to be fully visible. So being able to provide interaction summaries, proposed recommended next steps, and then the resources to go execute those proposed recommended next steps.
That's great. And so, one question I like to ask all the customer experience leaders I run into: what's next?
What's next? Yes, well, we've been super excited to embark on this project with Agentforce. We've just recently launched Agentforce in our chat channel. We just did that a couple of weeks ago, so it's still new, but very pleased with the initial results. And we're currently working to expand that into additional channels of voice, email, and SMS. And then as we continue to implement that functionality, we'll also look to scale it to additional brands and regions. And then beyond that, it will be adding capabilities to our use cases and just continuously looking to make improvements to improve that customer experience.
That's great. And so, thanks again, Nicole, for sitting down and sharing your story with us. Fantastic to hear.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Manny.
It's such a great story. And Gotham, I know you work a lot with Wolverine. Anything that stands out about what Nicole said?
Yeah, absolutely. Salesforce is actually leaning in a lot with customers deploying agents right now. And I'm actually a product sponsor for Wolverine as well. So I know a lot about Nicole's amazing story and the work Wolverine is doing. What they've done right is really start with a phased approach for their agents. You heard Nicole mention chat, but then also telephony, SMS, email, etc. It takes time to deploy your first agent and really get it right. So they are definitely in this learn as you grow mode, which is, I think, the absolutely correct approach. The other thing they're doing is they're very focused with the business outcomes that they're going after. So they're monitoring their chat deployment right now very closely. And they're also communicating this project with the board and setting expectations right so that they have the right sponsorship throughout the deployment.
And Phil, how can others share the learnings that Nicole shared with?
I think I'd echo what Gautam said. They've set a kind of ambitious overall strategy, but they've started very specifically. They talked about specific regions and channels and brands of the business that they're deploying to. So I think that's a great move. She also talked about some very measurable outcomes around efficiency and scale, which I really liked, right? Scaling around the holiday season, that sounds very, very tangible. Responding to customers quicker, all those things that seemed extremely measurable, which I think is the right way to go with agents.
Yeah, and so we've heard from Wolverine and so many other customers that the best place to start with AI agents is in customer service. We know the importance of grounding your agents in context to make it easier to get pilots into production. So we are very excited that we recently released our new version of our Agentforce Help Agent that makes it even easier to set up and scale across your organization. But you got to see it in action. So to do that, I'm going to turn it over to Gotham.
Thank you, Annie. I am so excited to walk customers through our new Help Agent and our contact center, our field service products. As you said, there's nothing like seeing it live in action. So right now, you as a customer probably have your end customers on your sites going through help articles and your portal and maybe getting a little frustrated. The Help Agent is designed for this moment and you can get up and running with it in minutes. Let's get started. So this begins with the quick start setup for your Help Agents. And what you're going to do is put in a name and a greeting. Right at the front of this process, this is how your agent is going to greet customers. But the most important part comes next. This is where you make your agent smart. You give it knowledge. If you're a Salesforce customer, this is as easy as just choosing your knowledge categories. But if your knowledge is in PDF documents or in help docs or answer or policy docs, you can just upload this. And you can see here, it's going to take just a little bit of time to process. And then you can go ahead and hit continue because you're now going to test that agent and the knowledge that you gave it. This is how you know that your agent is responding in the right way. You see, we asked a question on the right, and we're getting a response, but it's also got the source of the knowledge that you grounded the agent in, so attribution. And on the left, check out these channels. You can deploy the agent to these channels immediately. And oh, by the way, what you're not seeing here is also SMS, WhatsApp, and any other channel. But let's look at this live. So we're going to go to a portal. And here, we're logged in as a customer. And you can see we don't have a search bar. We have a prompt bar at the bottom. And we're just going to have a conversation. This is giving you the benefits of a regular search, but it's also personalizing the response based on the customer's service, sales, and marketing data. You can see the claim in the response. The scenario that we're looking at here is some tree damage. I am the customer, and I'm engaging with this insurance company. I've got all the information on the right, but the help agent is not just here to serve and give knowledge actions. You can actually give customers workflows, like a checklist to complete a claim. This is exciting. It's a great experience, but there are many occasions where you might need a human escalation or a human-in-the-loop motion. Let's look at that next. Here you're seeing a call scenario. I'm going to go ahead and call in.
Hello, I'm your Acme Insurance digital agent. I recognize your number ending in 7464. Am I speaking with Gautam at Omega Inc.?
Hey, yeah, I'm calling about that storm last night. My roof has a lot of damage. Is this covered in my policy?
That sounds stressful. Your policy does cover roof damage from storms. I have emailed you a copy of your full policy for Omega Inc. Would you like to start a claims process for the roof damage?
Yes, please. Let's definitely start a claim. I appreciate you emailing me the policy so I can look at it. That's helpful. And can I speak to a rep?
I understand how overwhelming this situation can be. I will connect you with a specialist right away to initiate your claim and make sure you get the help you need.
Okay, you are now seeing the escalation from Agentforce to the right rep that is available to help the customer, in this case, that's me. So the screen pop shows you all the information about my record in this business. And all of this information is helping the rep make better answers. But right in the middle, you're also seeing the service rep assistant. This is giving a full summary and a plan for how to help out for this particular call, including reply recommendations, knowledge articles, etc. It's also summarizing the call for me, which saves reps minutes on every call. But sometimes reps need assistance from other subject matter experts in the organization. We call that swarming. So Slack swarming allows you in real time to get help from other collaborators. Swarming does two things. It adds the right people with the expertise that are available right now, and it surfaces any approvals that might be needed directly within the console experience. No switching of applications. Another persona that we focus on a lot is the supervisor. Their job is to keep the contact center humming. And for that, they need to know any gaps in capacity, scheduling, adherence, etc. With our new workforce engagement management, supervisors can see exactly that all in one view. This is incredibly powerful. All right, let's complete the story. I, as a customer, called in, the rep helped me, the supervisor was monitoring everything, but now an adjuster is going to come to my house to inspect the damage. I need to do some scheduling. And it's as easy as a conversation. You can see here that all I'm doing is replying in natural language to schedule time for the adjuster to come and inspect the damage. Wednesday is good. And yes, it is still tarped. No, just come straight to the front door. It's as easy as that. And Now we're going to end this demo with the last part of the story, which is the experience of the adjuster as they come on site to my property. This is the field service product. And what you're looking at right now is the field service mobile app. It starts with a pre-work brief. This is where the adjuster can get all of the information about the property, the claim, the customer history, and ask any follow-up questions. But the best part of this is voice to form. This is a new feature. Check this out. I'm just going to go ahead and speak. Severe storm damage. Looks like it was a combination of wind and rain. Tore a hole through the roof. Affected area 800 square feet. Emergency topping done. This is about $12,000 in damage. The claim is approved and needs repair ASAP. And that was it. I just have to speak what the form needs, and it fills out automatically. And then as an adjuster, I can just sign off on the work order. My customer is happy, and I'm happy. And with that, signing off to you as well, Annie.
Oh my God, that's so much work you guys have put in. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, we're really proud of it. You saw how seamless the journey can be, going from the customer experience, whether it's in self-service or on the phone, to a rep, to the experience of the supervisor in the background, to the experience of the adjuster, all the way on site. I would definitely encourage for anyone on the call, if you're interested in any of these experiences, particularly the help agent, stay on after this segment for that hands-on workshop.
Yeah, please do stick around. Setting up those agents is a ton of fun. So we've talked about it a lot. Customer service is where a lot of companies start with AI, but we all know that customer experience is really a team sport. Every department in your organization directly impacts the ongoing relationship that you're going to build with your customers. So to truly impact that customer experience, you have to connect customer service with sales and marketing into one seamless customer journey. A company at the forefront of this is Equinox. They're a leader in fitness and wellness space, and they've been a Salesforce customer for over a decade. And they're really leading the way in providing very personalized 24/7 engagement for their members and prospects. I'd love to share the conversation I had with their product leader, Mel, about how they're innovating in the customer journey. Let's take a look.
Well, Mel, it's great to sit down with you. Big fan of Equinox. It's really the gold standard when it comes to luxury wellness, and I love their membership experience. But I'm excited to sit down and explore how you're using AI to build stronger loyalty with that community. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and Equinox?
Yes, so I am Melanie Mel Kalia, Director of Product here at Equinox on the technology side. I've been with Equinox for a little over 15 years in various roles, and Equinox is a brand, for those of you who don't know, is a luxury health and fitness company. We expand the gamut of, outside of hotels to, digital classes and content, hotels, and then, yes, and other things to come, I'm sure. But yes, we are primarily just, a super luxury health and wellness space, and that is Equinox.
Fantastic. And so can you give us a picture of kind of what your service and sales motion looked like before you onboarded Salesforce and Agentforce?
Oh gosh, yes, of course. So our service process was kind of broken into just a straight call center, and then also like a contract audit kind of realm where that kind of did all sorts of back office work, whether that be, refunds or actual manual contract audit, if you can imagine. Looking at every signature with one pair of eyes, each time somebody changed their membership class or did something, somebody was actually staring at it with, taking their own time. And so as we onboarded Salesforce and I kind of moved down the service path, we were able to automate a lot of those things, especially like upgrading our MRM system and the downstream processes. So like everything in Salesforce is now like we leverage cases heavily of connecting everything. So it's like a one-click refund. We're able to expedite, anything somebody needs, whether that be like through chat, whether that be, automation jobs and everything. And we have like a quick one personalized view. So you call into the call center. I know everything about Annie and I have my 10-second view and I'm able to help you and resolve whatever the issue may be quickly and more efficiently as we move forward in that realm. And then on the sales side, it was completely on the opposite side. So the sales advisors, like, back in the day, who even had the little credit cards where you kind of ran it back and forth. So like, right, exactly. If anybody remembers those. But yes, but now like we've upgraded a lot of that, really kind of leaning on Agentforce and like agents and that to like lead nurture, bring people in, because our channels have changed, right? More people are inquiring digitally, where before they were walking into the clubs directly. And so to be able to kind of like filter through the noise and qualify better, like that's where our agents are we're hopping in, and we're actually really starting to see the value and move things forward in that realm. So Salesforce altogether has been super helpful in moving our business in the right direction as we scale and grow.
Oh, that's great. I know when we were talking, having a high level kind of customer experience is really important to you in Equinox, having that like white glove experience almost. So how do you maintain that when you're looking at bringing on AI agents?
That was really important to us, right? So like we spent a lot of time on tone and brand, one, just to make sure that it sounded like us and that we were communicating. And it felt like we were doing people more of a service of using AI versus like, sometimes you call into something and like, you're like, agent. I just want somebody. I just need a human. And so that was important for us not to like kind of fall into that loop. And then also be transparent for our members and our leads of knowing that they are talking to, an actual AI agent versus a human. And so we're kind of marrying that aspect of being like completely empathetic, really trying to make sure that we stay on brand, and that, like, especially if it doesn't know something, that it's able to escalate quickly, where we can get involved and it doesn't like fall into some loop of like the ether of, yeah, we'll get back to you in 5 to 7 days, because that's definitely not our model. And so all those things aside, like we've just kind of been teetering with it, right? Like, because it's all like kind of like plug and play, try this, try that, whatever, but always maintaining that the member experience is paramount and making sure that that is our North Star anytime we try something new.
It's great that you're able to experiment and tweak and make sure it holds your brand. I know we're talking a lot about the customer experience. Are your employees also benefiting from AI agents during these service and sales experiences?
They are actually. I mean, we've started a beta group around like the new Agentforce coworker, where we're kind of leveraging that more as like an internal employee agent type thing of saying like, who are the people endangered in my pipeline? Like who am I looking at as an operations leader of like which facilities have more open cases or like falling behind on their NPS scores, and how might we as a business kind of like live up to that expectation and move forward? And so we're seeing a lot of like value in that, and the feedback's been actually really great to have, especially something out of the box and move so quickly. So our employees are kind of leveraging it on that aspect.
That's great. And so, I always like to know from leaders, like, what's next? What's the next use case for agents that you see in maybe the next year?
Yeah. I would say from a sales perspective, voice, right? Because from our thing, like we feel like confident that we have like the email piece down, the SMS channel pretty well nailed and like accomplished. But like that last little bit of sometimes you just want to speak to someone or just like deal with it over the phone. Is kind of like what's missing in our wheelhouse. And so like, I think that's like one of the things, if we get that right, then we can figure out a true multi-channel strategy to kind of move that forward. And then from this marketing side too, of being able to leverage things of, can we have dynamic personalization instead of just, the old school way of batch and blast and hope, cast a wide net, something lands. And so as we do that and be able to really have that like true support from our marketing team and move forward that way. But yeah, those are some of the things we've been thinking about as a business and next year. Yeah.
Voice is, a big one. We hear that a lot. And it's interesting that you're kind of tying service, sales, and marketing all together. Going to get huge benefits from that. Well, thank you so much for sitting down with me, Mel, and sharing your great stories. It's always great to hear from people that have gone through it and been successful.
Yes, of course. Thank you for having me. This was great.
It's such a fantastic story. Phil, what do you think?
Awesome story. I mean, first of all, what I took away was that Mel is the right kind of person to lead this. She knows the business really well. She's not leading with technology. Yeah. She knows what they're trying to do as an organization. She talked about personalization at scale 2 or 3 times, which I think is a really great outcome they're driving towards. And then it seems like they're maintaining the really high bar that's associated with their kind of brand that you'd expect from that premium kind of experience that Equinox offers. Yeah, so they're doing a good job.
You're a big Jim Rat. I know you're an Equinox customer. What do you think?
I really like the note on sales, service, and marketing coming together. Yeah. I think that is the promise of this agentic era we're in, really breaking down the silos and focusing on the end-to-end customer journey. And something that we focus on a lot is going from do not reply to please reply, because you want that engagement on a continuous basis. Great story here.
It's fantastic. And in order to show you how you can extend your customer experience across sales and marketing, I want to turn it over to Phil for a demo.
Thanks, Annie. I'm going to show you Agentforce agents working across that spectrum we've just been talking about, from sales and all the way into marketing. And I'm going to pick up where we left off with Gotham with that claim, right? So we're going to use that persona. And you saw the help agent assisting the customer. Now we moved looking a little bit forward from a sales perspective of how we can grow the business. So we're back on the website, and you see that Agentforce is here to help me right away. So I can engage, in this case, with Piper, and she is an SDR agent who's going to engage with this customer. So let's get into it.
Hi, how can I help you?
Hey, Piper. We had a pretty big storm recently and got hit by that, and we have a claim in process. That's all good. But I wanted to take a look at my coverage on my policy and see whether I need to make any changes.
Thanks for sharing that. Let's dive into your coverage. What specific areas or risks are you thinking of adjusting?
Can you show me maybe an example policy that I can take a look at and see whether I'm missing anything?
Here's an example commercial building insurance policy summary. It highlights the covered perils and a sample claim scenario. What part of your coverage are you most concerned about right now?
So before I keep going, I want you to understand that Piper knows who I am. She knows the context of the case and the claim that we filed that you saw Gotham go through already. She's asking me context-specific questions about what's going on in my business. So this is not your rote deterministic set of experience that you might have experienced in the past. So let's do one more thing. I really want to expand my coverage. Can you connect me with an agent?
Got it. Let's set you up with an agent to expand your coverage. You can pick a time that works best for you. Feel free to select a time that works for you, and we'll get everything set up.
So I'm going to go ahead there. You see, it's identified the agent.
Thanks for booking. You're all set to meet with Sam Maskin on July 22nd, 2026 at 12:30 p.m. Pacific. Is there anything else you'd like to go over?
So we'll fade out from, we could continue all day with Piper. She's super nice. But she's passed my context over to Sam, who's my agent. I've booked them in. I'm kind of really seamless experience. So I'm going to switch personas now and think about Sam, who's getting ready for that meeting. Now, Agentforce has a number of different agents working on my behalf, and one of them is in the background. This is the prospecting agent. So what's going on here? You're seeing a list of prospects that have been identified for me, including Gotham. So it's actually done a bunch of research for me. If you look here on the right-hand side, looking across the web, what's going on in his business, the information we got from the CRM about historical opportunities, or that claim that's underway and is being handled by the service system, or the field service engagement. All of that is available to this agent as it researches that context. And it's presenting it to me as a human, so I'm getting ready for that meeting. Or it also presents it to an agent if there's an outbound engagement happening with that customer. So let's move into the meeting. Now, reps do not love updating the CRM. And this is one of the reasons why we invested in Momentum recently. So imagine that you're on this call. Sam is engaging with Gotham and is talking about the insurance policy options. As that call wraps up, we're pulling, instead of me capturing notes on a notepad and trying to remember to update the CRM, this is now happening automatically on my behalf. So all the information about context is being written into the CRM. Even things like your methodology, it looks like we're running multiple methodologies here, 3 Ys, MedPick. All of this is being updated on my behalf automatically. And this isn't happening for just that one opportunity. If I zoom out for a second and think about all the deals that I'm working, so I'm looking at my pipeline here, how am I going to get to my number? Maybe I'm having a conversation with my RVP. The pipeline management agent is using that same stack to keep a view on all of my deals and make sure that they're moving through the process. So you're seeing this insurance package upgrade we talked about. There are 2 suggestions coming from Agentforce here. Number 1, it looks like we should be moving this through to the next stage in the sales method or in our sales process. And then also, you need to remember to prepare that quote for Omega. So, and it gives you kind of rationale and where it got the signal in order to make that recommendation to the seller. So we can keep our deals moving through the pipeline. And as we progress down that pipeline, Agentforce is here to help me as well. So now I'm at that point where I want to prepare a quote, get it over to Gotham as quickly as possible. I've put in an utterance said, please create a quote, 5 premium insurance packages at a 4% discount. Let's take a look at this. And I ask Agentforce to bring that up, what it's prepared for me. You think about this, this is an area that's super error prone. Sellers have huge problems with this. With the more complex the set of business rules are around how your products are quoted, all the dependencies, minimum volumes, discount tiers, all that kind of thing is being handled here by Agentforce to give me an accurate quote as quickly as possible. And of course, if I want to take a look at that and engage with it here, this could also happen in your engagement. If you're working in Slack, you'd have the same experience I'm showing you here in Lightning. But if I want to make any adjustments before I hit send and get it out to the customer, then I can go ahead and do so. So let's fast forward. We sent that. We're closing the deal. This is great. Gotham is expanding his insurance coverage, so he's ready for that next storm. What happens next? Now, we talked about service. We talked about sales. Let's think about how marketing wants to engage and ensure he has a fantastic onboarding experience with that new expanded set of capabilities, new policies that we've sold him. So if you see on the right-hand side, once again, I've gone to Agentforce. I've asked it to create a campaign brief. So it's written the first sort of stump of what this campaign is going to look like. I've said, please save the brief. And this is an onboarding campaign for premium insurance. So let's take a look at what happens here. I've got the metadata surrounding it. And then if we take a look at the context, you're going to see all of the actions come up in momentarily, where it's going to define the steps in the process, whether they're human outreach over which channels those are going to occur. You see that coming up right now, or whether it's handed to the engagement agent, which will conduct that multi-channel outbound engagement bidirectionally, just as you saw earlier on, to bring that customer up to speed. This is something actually Equinox is doing with Agentforce today to create great personalized, accurate onboarding experience for their new customers. So last thing, and we've shown you a lot of capabilities here, but let's remember that we need to ensure that these agents are visible. We have control, visibility, observability as to what's going on, and that's exactly what you're seeing here. So we've assigned, in this case, 78 records to that agent, and we're looking across not just the engagement it is conducting, but how the customer, in this case Gotham, is reacting. So if you see here, he's clicked on the website, he's engaged with this campaign, so we see it's working, he's getting onboarded with this new policy. So with that, Annie, what do you think? I mean, you showed a lot.
Yeah, you did. I mean, it seems like you're solving a really hard problem for customers and connecting that customer journey across with AI and human interference or help. Congratulations.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. The customer didn't have to ask the same question twice.
Yeah.
Each channel that we engaged in each context, from service to field service to a seller to marketing, they kind of knew what was going on for that customer in their moment, and that creates a differentiated experience, I think.
Well, thank you both so much for showing us those demos and showing us the product real time. We've gotten a ton of questions coming through on the Q&A. I think we have just time for a couple. One really important one I wanted to go to you, Phil, is how is security and data privacy managed?
Yeah, it's front of mind, isn't it, at the moment? A couple of things that are really important. I think the Agentforce platform, Salesforce has operated this way for many decades, but zero data retention. So we have a technical and a contractual structure with the large language model providers, with the foundation model providers, regardless of which ones you're doing, to ensure that they're not taking your data, they're not training your models on your data. So one layer before that is the trust layer. We can do things like demasking, de-identification of data before it even goes to the LLMs. So I think there's some really well built in projections to ensure that it's meeting your standards, and of course all the compliance around the world, the different standards that you'd expect.
Yeah, really
we adhere
important.
to those.
Yeah, I'm glad we're thinking about that. Another one came through asking if there's two different agents, one for voice, one for help agent. It's a really good question. It's one agent. Help agent works across all channels, including voice. So all channels, voice included, not separate agents. But there's a question about how quickly could you really set this up? And what if you want to configure? Do you have to code? How does that all work, Gautam?
Yeah, great question. So the help agent is template-based, and so you get up and running really quickly. But you can go as deep as you want in terms of configuration, whether you are a low code or a pro code or a business user. And the reason for that is because the help agent is built on top of the same Agent Pros platform that Phil was mentioning, with that trust layer, but it also comes with our script designer. So Agentforce, you can use our agent script to really define the kinds of flows that you want the agent to support, get down in the detail of integrating with different enterprise apps. But it doesn't stop there. You can also use your favorite coding tool like Claude or Codex
My favorite.
to also write the for you. So help agent gets up and running in minutes. Use your favorite coding tool, as I said, or coding agent to then refine exactly how you want your agent to behave.
That's right. And so thanks to everyone for those great questions. Lots more. Wanted to wrap up, Gautam, Phil. Let's summarize what we think the top 3 things are that we want folks to take away from today. Gautam, I'll throw it over to you first.
Yeah, I want to say, just starting off with that service use case is a great way to get an AI project going in your organization. I think the use case is very clear. The ROI is there. It's something you can communicate pretty succinctly and compellingly with your leadership team or your board. And you saw with the help agent how quickly you can get up and running on any channel, and you can start with a specific brand, etc. So I think this is a sweet spot that a lot of customers should explore.
That's great. Phil?
For me, it's all about the context, not just the models. The models are phenomenal, and we continue to leverage those. But AI alone, you can't run your business on it. You need the context. We maybe should talk more about this. The actions that the AI can take on your behalf are critical to really accelerating workflows and to scaling. For me, that's the big opportunity: is how to scale workflows with quality across your front office. That's the opportunity in front of us.
Yeah, and if I had to say one, it's start simple, scale fast.
Agreed.
All the customers we heard from today and others we talked to, pick one use case, really nail that, and then grow from there. So
Absolutely.
Thank you both, Phil and Gautam, for showing us those great demos and joining the conversation. And for everyone watching, we're about to kick off the live workshop, so don't go anywhere. And if you like what you saw, believe it or not, Dreamforce 2026 is right around the corner and registration is open. So I hope to see everyone here in San Francisco. Before you go, please do take our 60 seconds on the survey. Just scan the QR code on your screen or click the button in the chat. Your feedback really helps us shape what we build next. So if you're ready to start setting up your own AI agent, our hands-on workshop training is coming up next. For those of you watching on social, join us on salesforce.com/plus and stay with us as we jump in.